I'm Rachel with Feathers and Flowers here in Wenatchee, Washington.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me over.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Well, let's have a tour.
Okay. So, we're here on 1 acre is our whole property, but the growing zone or acreage is just about a 1/4 acre. We have 3 different blocks that we kind of organize our farm by. And you'll see some rows are going the other way. We can walk in here and check it out. But this is the original garden when we moved here. We were just going to do fruits and vegetables for ourselves, but we started growing and loved flowers and kept making rows after rows after rows.
Oh my gosh. And you said it, you moved here in 2020 and you started farming gardening first, right?
Gardening, we just did the fruits and vegetables for the family, and then flowers came into the picture, and I decided to apply for a business license and start a farm. And that was in October of 21, and then 22 was like a test run year. 23 was full blown.
And that's when I met you in 2023.
I think it was, in Bellevue.
Yep. And so you had really just were deep into your first full season then.
It was. It's true.
Wow.
I was definitely learning. I had taken the floret flower farming class, learning from, and I met Lenny Larkin at the Slow Flowers Summit there, and I've been learning from her too, and just kind of picking through some people to learn and grow and figure it out.
You just figure things out. You do a lot of research.
I do a lot of research and a lot of trial by error. I have no farming background besides just loving being outside. But when we wanted to create a space where our family could do something together and outdoors, that's sort of our game. You know, we haven't remodeled the house yet, but we have fully built a flower farm in the 5 years that we've been here.
And so your husband, Theo, is kind of your sidekick. But
He's the sidekick. He's employee of the month every month. Every month.
And then how old are your kids?
Mabel is 8 and Nolan is 11.
Okay. And they are somewhat interested in what you're doing? Or is
that's a great question, because Nolan is in middle school now. He's having to write like creative papers. He's having to tell people about his family life and family culture. And the first thing that he always talks about is the farm.
That's lovely.
But he's never, I don't want to say never. He's not the first one out here in the morning to help or anything. Yeah. But I think he loves the access to it. He loves that if he wants blueberries in his cereal, he can walk outside and get them.
That's wonderful.
And they love to give their teachers bouquets, which is always fun. So
I love it.
They are definitely a big part of it. But my husband and I are the sweat equity. The sweat equity, yes.
Rachel, you started to describe all your services earlier when we were talking. Can you just kind of walk people through how do you describe Feathers and Flowers?
Right. Yeah, great question. I love my flower subscriptions. Those let me have creative freedom and show people how amazing local flowers are. They start in April, they go to October, and people get to see the seasons change with start of the tulips and lilacs and ends with the beautiful dahlias, and they love to watch those bouquets change throughout the months. And they can do bi-weekly, monthly, or weekly. It's funny, I'm seeing people move away from the weekly, and I asked them why. I said, why would you not want these every week? And they said, because they last longer than a week. I don't need them every week.
You're putting yourself out of business.
Out of business.
I've heard that too. It's like a positive thing, but also.
But I'm convincing them they just need to put one in their bathroom or their kitchen and their dining room.
Right.
So it's fine. Or give one to a friend, and that has been fun to learn from. So my subscriptions, which I get to put whatever I want in there, and then I sell wholesale to the local florists here in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. And then I will take on some of my own weddings, but my passion is growing. So I love to work with the brides, but like we were just talking about, you hire a farmer, not a florist. My passion is to show you how great the flowers can be. Grown locally.
I really love that idea, that sentiment, Rachel. I've never heard anyone really say that. It's like when you are contacted by a potential couple, it's very clear to them that you're a grower and a farmer.
Yep.
But they must see your aesthetic on Instagram or on your website, so they know you can design.
I can design, but my real passion is to showcase the flowers and how beautiful they can be.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you do your CSAs, is it about 50-50 between businesses and individuals, or because
It's a little heavier on the individuals now. I started with just businesses because I thought that was an easy place to go ask and show them. And I love that I know when they're open, and I can usually do them on Mondays. And so it was really consistent and easy to work with. And then people that came to those businesses found out about us and also ordered subscriptions.
So the flowers at a hair salon or at a restaurant were led to individual requests.
They did, yeah.
That's so cool.
I do get they kindly put my cards out there, and I get a lot of business from my business.
Your
subscriptions.
presence, yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's walk around.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, it's late in the season.
It is.
And, but I want to know what you've been growing and where everything goes. Is this? You said these are the original 3.
These are the original 3, and then we had some blueberries here, which we've since relocated to our berry patch now. Everything was really thrown in as just a place to put it in the dirt. Where the dirt was, the soil was dry, barren. There weren't even bugs in this soil when we moved here. There was no worms.
But you said it had been pasture land, or?
So it was dry lot, horse runs.
Okay.
No grass, just weeds and dry dust, dirt. So
you really had to amend it.
We amended it. My husband makes our compost. So everything here gets composted. I just cut it down. I put it down. We got a tractor, and it magically turns to dirt. I don't know what he does.
And it's healthy.
It's healthy, and it's for the first almost 3 years, my husband had to constantly remind me that we were building soil and building ground. But yeah, this was all we had at first, and that was quickly outgrew that. We have garlic planted now, so we still have. This is what I allow Theo to have. But I did plant Lysianthus in his garden patch this year.
It's okay. It's a his and hers garden.
He loved it. He loved it. But we started with our block 1 over there, which is where the dahlias were this year. I had some cool flowers over there last year, and but we do rotate all of our crops just to help with everything. And then we quickly built. This stayed for a while, so I think we went over here.
This is a big area.
This is a big area. I'm slowly turning this into perennials. We have some delphinium in there. We went big on peonies last year.
Is that where the black,
tarp is? Yeah. That was the strawberry patch, and strawberries are much harder than peonies.
And probably peonies get a little bit better.
A little bit
price
better
per stem.
I can't keep up with the peony demand, but I talked to more farmers last night, and I learned I didn't know some of our other local farmers had as many peonies as they do. I think we all planted them at the same time.
So now they're all coming
They're coming in, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited that that's something that we can offer our florists here.
In quantity.
Yeah, in a good quantity.
I love that you're not viewing that as, there's competition.
No, I can't keep up. I can't plant. I would have to have a whole peony farm to keep up with the demand of peonies here.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
One day. Maybe
Someday.
I do just turn into a peony farm.
I think there's all that lawn you could tear out.
I know. That's,
when the kids grow up.
That has been in the talks.
Well, let's see what else you've got.
Yeah, then we added this middle block here, and eventually we will reorient everything. But
sure.
Actually this year, a huge milestone for us is everything is in drip irrigation now. Here in Wenatchee, if it's not watered, it will not grow. We get 300 days of sunshine and no rain from May to October.
Wow.
No, we'll get 1 day of rain.
Wow.
And that's it.
So really, if you don't have irrigation,
you have nothing.
Are you pulling water from the river?
Yep. So the Wenatchee
River.
Yep. We were part of the irrigation district within our living zone, and we share that with our neighbors. But we pay the fee for the year, and we have unlimited water. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
It because of all of our orchards around too. So
sure,
that's how they get their water.
This area is known. The Wenatchee Valley is known for stone fruit and apples.
Apples. Yep. It's the apple capital of the world.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Welcome.
Yeah, there was someone there last night who had an apple T-shirt on.
She grows apples in Nicholson Orchards, which is up Blewett. She has a farm stand and then added flowers to her farm stand.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
So we have all drip irrigation thanks to a grant from our local conservation district. They did a 50-50 cost share for us.
You're good at getting grants.
Yeah.
You've gotten a grant for a low tunnel and for this drip irrigation.
That's
and
right.
What else?
So far, and cover crop.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
It's not easy, but I found some great people to work with. And then there was the government shutdown while we were doing that.
But you have to do the documentation and write the application. There's still a lot of work on your part.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it was very rewarding to have someone help us fund, because so the dahlias were in this block last year as a trial. The aisles are too narrow for them. It came into our main walkway, and this wasn't drip irrigated, so we were overhead watering the dahlias, and they don't love that.
So now where you're relocating them?
They are now over in the first block.
In the first block,
They get their drip irrigation. They have long, big, wide aisles. I spaced them differently this year. They were much
Room to
happier.
grow.
Yes. So Lysianthus, ranunculus. There's some feverfew. I just planted snapdragons for cool flowers. I have some random mums planted in there as just a place to put them. But I will, in the middle of winter, I will plant the ranunculus in here and start.
In the ground?
Yeah.
Wow.
We did mid-December last year.
Wow.
There was no snow, and it was a kind of a day like this.
The
and we
soil
took
wasn't
advantage
frozen.
It wasn't frozen. We just put them in.
But now you have just recently planted your tulips.
Yep.
So you know the soil is very workable.
It's workable. We can do it. And we got them. The ranunculus that were planted in mid-December came 2.5 weeks earlier than the ones planted in the spring, which was really helpful.
When your first crop is tulips, though, in the
Tulips and the lilacs and hellebores.
Okay. Where are hellebores? Are they in the perennial area?
They are part of the landscape.
Okay, I see.
But I have been developing a hellebore problem. So they'll probably be, they don't love full sun that we have here.
You have to have them in the shade somewhere.
They have to be in the shade.
Yeah.
So we're slowly building shade as well. We're
Yeah.
planting some bigger things.
Well, I noticed all the hedges that you've put in.
The hedges, and we're gonna, those 3 guys over there that aren't really doing their full job, I think we're gonna rip those out and put some fruit trees in there, some pears and apples. Yeah.
Let's go see the
Okay.
critters.
Yes. So we are feathers and flowers. So the feathers over here are our chickens that my son loves, and
Oh, they're so plump and cute.
they are very happy chickens. We have 8, or we started with 8. We're down to 5, but they're old. They sort of lay, but that's the feathers.
It's the family farm.
It's the family farm.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we have a couple pigs down here that are our pets. And my dream as a child was to have a pig. And we moved here. My husband built this pasture, built this barn, and now I have my dream pets over
He
here.
must love you. I love that. Here they are.
Yep.
They're so cute.
No, they're from New Zealand. Not these guys. They're from Kashmir, but
Their
their breed
breed
is from New Zealand. They're very, very social. They love people. Hi, girl. This is Daphne, and that's Wasabi.
Are they litter mates?
Yeah,
Oh my
they're full
gosh.
sisters. Same mom, same dad. She looks exactly like her dad, and she looks exactly like her mom.
Are they waiting for you to feed them?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
They're always wanting food. But this time of year, they eat all of our pumpkins. They eat all of the apples that fall from people's orchards.
Oh my gosh.
They love dahlia tubers.
Oh, they do?
So all the ones that don't have eyes, I give them the dahlia
Oh my
tubers.
gosh, you guys are living large.
Yeah, they eat anything. They don't like onions. They don't like avocados, like random things that we don't have a lot of. But
Yeah.
comfrey is their favorite.
They're healthy. They probably have
Very beefy girls.
very good DNA.
too.
Well, what a
Yes.
beautiful place. I'd love to
Yeah.
come back at the peak of the
Please
season
do.
where it's
Full bloom.
exploding in color.
Yeah, July and August and September is full bloom with the dahlias and the lizzies and zinnias and the. I do a few cosmos. It's not my favorite, but I'm seeing that's going to be a trend.
Well, it's almost like the season had to end for you to be able to host a meetup for
Yes.
flower farmers.
Yes.
So let's go inside and talk
Okay.
about that.
I would love to.
Well, hello, everybody. Deborah Prinzing here. This is part 2 of our episode with Rachel Burgoon of Feathers and Flowers. Hi, Rachel.
Hello, Deborah. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm glad we're going to finish the interview that we started when I visited you in Wenatchee last week. Folks will have just seen about a 10-15 minute tour of your farm. I know it's almost dormant season, but I thought it looked great. We met some of your animals. But let's just get started on giving people a snapshot of Feathers and Flowers. I came out to visit you, and at your invitation last Thursday, you're about 2.5 hours east of where I live, just south of Seattle Airport. And it was a beautiful drive. You arranged for perfect weather and you hosted a wonderful gathering that I was able to attend. And I just would love to have you, first of all, talk about that gathering, and then we'll go into talking about feathers and flowers.
I love it. Yes. Thank you so much for coming. That you were our honored guest. And I was so thrilled to share you with our Wenatchee community. And we had a great time. So when I started Feathers and Flowers, this will be our 5th growing season. My favorite part is connection and growing. And whether that's growing community, growing flowers, whatever it is, but I love connection and growing. And I've always wanted to have a small group of friends that were farmers. And then it has blossomed into relationships with florists and other farmers that are even farther than just Wenatchee. Our valley is really large. So for us all to connect at one time was really special. But yes, I sent out invitations. I said, let's get together, let's gather, let's celebrate, let's just get to know each other. There's farmers that are all the way up in Leavenworth, and there's florists in Wenatchee, and they may not all know each other. But I just wanted for everyone to get into one room. And we also included Lilies of the Valley, which is a local nonprofit here that repurposes flowers. So I wanted people to know about that too. And they just opened a new space.
Yeah, I just grabbed the flyer from them when I was leaving. So I'll share that detail just for educational purposes in our show notes, because I love their language where they said, how do you make your wedding flowers last longer? Donate them to be repurposed and pass on the joy of your day. So you really wanted to support another floral enterprise in your community.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they have their new space. So we gathered there, and then we went next door to my friend's tasting room that just opened, Armor Wines. And we did small introductions, so everyone got to talk to each other. I definitely called out some people on what they're really good at, and how I knew them and the relationships that I've gained from them. Some of my best friends were in that room, and those are brand new friendships. So I just loved having us all together, share what we do, who we are, where we're located. And that let the farmers know that there are other farmers available. That let florists know that look how many farms are available. And it let the new farmers that just started, maybe even this year, like have an immediate connection with someone that can be on their side. And I loved it. We had so much fun, and it was great.
Well, it's the epitome of what I envisioned and always have envisioned for Slow Flowers as a community, because it's not just flower farmers. It's not just florists. We're only better when we connect with the other side of the industry. And some people do both. Obviously, you're a farmer florist, and there were a few there. But in terms of just almost like defining the marketplace in the greater Wenatchee area, you really put it on the map for people to see. There were like 40 people there. It was great. Amazing.
It was amazing. I think we were perfect on our timing too. I thought about like, all right, everybody save the Thursday before Thanksgiving. It looks like it's a good time for us. So I hope it's an annual event and we can look forward to it all year.
Well, now people are going to expect it, Rachel. They're like, well, where's that party? I also, hats off to your friend with the tasting room. She did a lovely job hosting us. That rosé was really good.
Yep.
The food truck with the pizza was brilliant, and people could people just settled in and spread out, chatted at round tables, at the picnic table, and no one wanted to leave. I loved it.
No, it was supposed to end at 7:30, and we were there till 9.
Yeah.
So it was just a true showing that it was needed. People wanted it, and people that came out that made the effort. It was great.
Well, kudos to you. You're definitely going to be the glue that holds things together in terms of relationships, and that's leadership. And your value is, let's find the greater good. It's not just me and my farm. And I loved how you had some more seasoned growers who'd been like maybe come through gardening, and just like Pat, who has apparently the best dahlia stash in the whole valley, and you shared her with other people, and that's very generous of you. And then you highlighted people who are in sort of more sort of remote destinations and helped them feel included. So it was great.
Yes. So I can only grow so many dahlias, mainly because I don't want to dig so many dahlias at the end of the year. So Pat is my source, and when the local florist that I work with, which is Barefoot Florals, and Cheryl with Flowers on the Wall, when they get dahlias from me, it is as many as I can give them. But then I supplement with Pat, and it's a team, and it was great for them to be able to shake hands with Pat and say, "Hi, I love your flowers."
They knew her through her flowers first.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, it'll be interesting to see what comes from this. And maybe before you wrap up, we'll talk about some dreams you might have for 2026. But your farm, we just saw it on a little tour. It's about 1/4 of an acre of growing space in your family property of a full acre. You do have room to expand, but I see what you mean about not wanting to have to dig more dahlias. What are your primary crops, and how does that all come together as a, overall snapshot?
Yeah, great question. So, yes, that's right. Our property is 1 acre. We're kind of down into a valley, so we get really windy springs, but we get the most sunshine, I would say, out of all of the growers in this valley. We get the most heat, the most sunshine. They joke that I live in Florida sometimes, and they do not.
It is kind of like a little heat sink the way you're situated by the river.
Yeah, it is, which is a blessing and a curse. We've looked into shade cloth for dahlias and stuff like that. We are definitely in the need of some shade sometimes. But we start our season mid-April with tulips, lilacs, a little bit of daffodils. But there's people that grow daffodils way better than me, and so I've let them do it. And if I need them, I go find them. Mm-hmm. We just planted a bunch of peonies for spring, and then we move into. I would say my biggest crop is Lysianthus. Mm-hmm. We do that from seed, which is amazing.
I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't ask you about that. But they're still blooming in end of November. It shows what's happening with climate change in the valley, I guess, because that
absolutely. Yeah, they're still out there. They're still out there blooming. It's crazy.
The stems are short, but if someone wanted a little hostess bouquet, you could make it, right?
I could. Yeah, with the mums that I have and a couple Lizzie stems, they're out there. It's crazy. But that's probably my favorite crop. It's been a little bit of a challenge to find a home for all of my Lysianthus. So education to consumers about how that's a unique flower, education to the florists that I have them, and growing the right colors and varieties that match what weddings want. So that's kind of a goal for me for next year. But I love Lysianthus. It's so versatile. It's so forgiving. And you don't have to dig it up.
Yes. It's funny though, the seeds are very tiny and minuscule and they're slow to start, but somehow you've created a method. You have the facility to start them indoors and take care of them. Yeah.
We have built, it has definitely been my trial and error. We've definitely lost a lot of Lysianthus, we still do, but we start enough that once we know how many we're going to lose, we're still okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our major crop. And then of course the dahlias and the zinnias, for the heat loving stuff, celosia, gumfrenium, all the normal things like that. But my favorite part are my subscriptions. That's what I love. People get to get those in April and they get them all the way through October. So they get to watch the seasons change with the flowers, which is, amazing for the consumer. And it's also such great education on local flowers is that subscription. They can see how beautiful they are. They can see the varieties that they don't get anywhere else. And they love to send me pictures of them and say, "What is this? I've never seen this before." So that's definitely my favorite part, is growing these beautiful blooms that are not accessible.
Well, we talked a little bit about your subscriptions and how versatile they are, that people can kind of tailor the subscription by frequency and, as often as every week and as distant as once a month. That's a lot of clerical work for you, but it's okay. It sounds like it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. I really enjoy it. It connects me with our community to educate them and to work with their schedules. Summertime is really busy for people. And if people don't want flowers every single week because they're at the beach a couple of those weeks, fine, we'll do once a month. It's fine. I'm here to make it accessible, enjoyable, easy. And yeah, it is a lot on the back end. But with our 5th year, I've kind of got it down a little bit. And I'm happy to say that.
Oh my gosh. So that's retail. And then what are your other retail channels that you're doing? And then we'll talk about wholesale.
Yeah, of course. So I love to grow. Like I'll keep saying that that's my passion. So I love doing buckets of blooms for DIY. I see a huge increase in the need for DIY flowers around here for anything from weddings to people buying them for their homes that are having friends over. Being able to buy that bucket of stems is amazing for people around here. And then I also do my own weddings. I do anything. I think I mentioned this in the farm tour, but I said I can do anything from one stem to a full wedding. Um, I'm a people pleaser through and through, and so I want to make it work for people. I want to make it accessible. I want to make it affordable, but also make sense for us, of course. Yeah. So weddings that are Leavenworth, East Wenatchee, Wenatchee, Cashmere, and then I'll do occasional one-time bouquets for a birthday or so. I have found that I don't think there's any other florist that's open on Sundays. And sometimes I get a lot of calls on Sundays.
Wow.
So,
just for some kind of special occasion.
Yeah, special occasion and or they want it Monday morning or something like that.
Yeah.
I've tried to limit myself on those, but if someone calls me in a pickle, I'll be there.
You deliver. I mean, and what I mean by that is not just delivering the flowers, but you deliver. And that kind of will segue us into how you work with florists. Because you mentioned the two florists you work most closely with who've become good friends. These are florists who are on board with the whole flowers idea, right? You didn't have to convince them of that.
Nope. Yeah. So like I said, Macy with Barefoot Florals, she's in East Wenatchee. She does weddings all over the state. And then Cheryl with Flowers on the Wall. She's in Cashmere and does primarily Lake Chelan, but she's working her way into Wenatchee, Cashmere, Leavenworth areas. And just like you said, they came to me looking for flowers. I have built relationships with them where I will do growing based on what they need. If they have a heavy white August wedding, then we're looking at more white Lysianthus for that time. White dahlias, things like that. We're following the trends of what they're getting, what they're booking.
Right. And you're mentioning a lot of these cities in and around the valley of Wenatchee, and it is because this is a high destination wedding part of the state or part of the region. Wineries, obviously Lake Chelan is like a beautiful resort area. So there's the floral industry kind of depends on that tourism or wedding tourism, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Leavenworth is more mountainous and kind of a country feel, if you will, for someone that wants the mountain vibe. And then you go to Lake Chelan, it's a little more royal, more regal, more serene location. And so there's so much opportunity for weddings around here. And as far as I know, there is not enough florists to meet that. And so the farmers have taken on some weddings, and like myself. And
right.
And I think I told you in our farm interview too, that when they book me for weddings, they're booking the farmer. And so that narrows my my clientele down a lot. But
I love that so much. It's like no one has ever talked about that before. You are not a florist. You're not trying to be a florist. You're a farmer who can create beautiful flowers for a wedding, but there's you're approaching it differently.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you want to see what's local and in bloom shine, I'm here for it.
That's great. I'm just guessing there's no floral wholesaler in the region.
There is not. There are that will deliver. So Brosie's is out of Yakima, I believe.
Okay.
And then Washington Floral, I believe, comes from Tacoma and Spokane.
Okay. Oh, so conventional wholesale florists might deliver from hours away.
Yeah. The Brosie's wholesale truck comes once a week. And I don't know much about them, but I do know that they are here and they're accessible. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I was going to guess that was competition, but based on the conversation that happened when we were with the group, there are like grocery stores and big box stores that are bigger, I guess, presence of flooding the area with
definitely
flowers.
in our area, it's for sure Costco and Safeway that people know about, and they know they can go there, and they're already going there. And so it's easy for them. So like I said, it's a huge part of what I'm doing here is to educate the community that we exist, and you love a local apple, so love a local flower, and come find us, and we're here for it.
That's right, because you're like the apple capital of the West, of the Northwest,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
That's a,
absolutely.
that's a good analogy. Let's people really care about supporting local food. And
Yep.
this is relatively new concept for them to think, even though your friend Pat has been growing dahlias for decades.
Yeah.
In terms of the model that you have at Feathers and Flowers, you're 5 years in, you're probably one of the more settled farms that, in terms of creating a market.
Yeah, oddly enough, yes, there's been lots of new ones that popped up, and there's a couple that were before me, and we're a team to educate and be accessible, and we're at bakeries and coffee shops and things like that, and just to let people know that we exist. And here's our card to call us if you have a friend that's getting married or want flowers for a baby shower, things like that.
Yeah, I think that's finding people where they are is probably the best way to compete with the convenience of a grocery store. So
absolutely, yep, for sure.
And then, what is the season? You said April to October? Is that? I mean, it's. I think of it as being colder than the Seattle west of the mountains. So, how do you manage that?
Yeah, our season, April, about mid-April, the tulips will start coming up. And I don't have a greenhouse. We have some low tunnels that we'll do for frost protection, but no extended growing season for us quite yet. So mid-April, and then our frost date, I think, is like October 24th, which you just saw we haven't had yet.
Right. Maybe a light frost, but it didn't look like anything was damaged. That's crazy.
No, my next door neighbor, who is family, still has his dahlias blooming, and it is November 24th.
Wow. That's crazy. Let's get the origin story of Rachel Burgoon. How did you end up with this farm? And obviously, we've talked about what the last 4 or 5 years have looked like, but what were you doing beforehand, and what led you to this? I'm curious too, as I think a lot of people see each other in these stories.
Yeah, they do. And I love to hear about other people like me as well. So I'm from Roanoke, Virginia. It's where my parents still live. I went to Bridgewater College, which was also in Virginia. I grew up riding and showing horses. So I brought my horse to college with me. I chose that college because it was the only co-ed private school with a varsity horseback riding team. So that's where I was going.
Wow, I love it. It's so specific. Yeah.
Yep. So I have an equine minor and a business major, if you want to go back that far. But when I graduated college, my mom told me, if you're going to do something fun, this is your time. And so I moved down to Florida and worked at Disney World for a year. I was a conductor.
You've got the personality for it, the pleaser.
Yes. I was a conductor on the train that goes around Magic Kingdom. So I did the Disney College program. I loved it. I had so much fun. I even got to work with the horses at Disney for a brief time. And then my husband had moved out here into Wenatchee to work for his uncle. And once my college program was over, he was settled in here. So I basically had to come to him. And we made it home. He proposed, and here we live. So that was in 2010 when I moved out here, and we had our family. He has kind of a green thumb, and I guess I caught it. I caught it bad. Wow,
that's crazy. So you don't come from horses were more of your connection to nature than plants.
Absolutely, but once we put some dahlia tubers in the ground. So we moved to the property in 2020, and we put some dahlia tubers in the ground, and I was like, these are kind of cool. I think I could probably sell them. Let's try to sell them. And so we just made a couple bouquets.
And that's your business degree coming into play. I didn't realize that. Like, how can I monetize what I love?
Absolutely. But at that time I had 2 part-time jobs and 2 very young children. And so I made it work for a little while of doing this sort of as a side thing. And then I quit one job and made it a little bit bigger. And then that one job was like, hey, it's too big now. You have to leave. And so I did. And I made it I made it part of our family. It's a place for us to be outside together. It's something for us to be really proud of together. On the side, we grow vegetables for our own selves and
Yeah.
fruit. And so, Wenatchee has this amazing agricultural history and accessibility. We have irrigation water that helps us in our 300 days of sunshine.
Wow.
We do. I mean, April to October is a pretty long growing season. And, we just took advantage of it. And I saw a demand, and I was big and brave and asked some people if they wanted subscriptions, and it's just built on itself. So it's really fun.
That's so cool. And I love the idea of, you have you have animals, you have the feathers with the chickens, and then you have these adorable giant pigs that are family pets. So that your kids are a little bit older now. Do they help with caring for the animals or?
Yep. They're 8 and 11 now. We just got a new puppy too. So,
I met the puppy.
Yep. More. We know growing up, I had 5 horses, 2 goats. We had 3 dogs, birds, fish. I mean, we had the whole 9 yards. So animals are a passion of mine. And the kids love the animals. I can see it in their hearts. My daughter has recently started horseback riding. So yeah, the animals are big. And then for the flowers, we were all out there. I think it was the night before you came, Deborah, planting tulips by headlamp. And we were all out there.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So when they think, we try to make it something exciting and fun. Picking weeds is no fun. And so we're not going to burn them out on things like that. But my daughter loves picking flowers. And when you let her pick whatever she wants, she does it, and she does it so well. And she's learning to make bouquets, and she loves to give her teachers bouquets, and they're proud to give somebody something that they grew. And it's so fun to watch.
What a great way to involve the kids so they don't feel like it's a chore, but it's something that makes their home special.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about this role that you seem to be playing as this hub of local flowers in Wenatchee. You said you're a people pleaser, but you also are a problem solver. So you see someone, a florist or a client who wants a bloom that maybe you don't have, and you go about calling in favors or making introductions. How did that all come about? And how is that working in terms of, is there potential to formalize it?
Man, I lose sleep over this thought all the time. Yeah, you nailed it. I am a people pleaser. And when my florists or myself, even for the weddings that I do, if I'm short on something, I've made these relationships with the other farmers, and I know where to find it. I know who's got the best tulips. I know who's got the best peonies. I know who has the best zinnias. And if somebody needs 150 of, white zinnias, I might have 50, which is great.
Yeah.
And I know someone else that might have 50, and I have someone else who might have 50. So yes, I run around this valley collecting flowers for orders. And at this time, I do it to be the people pleaser. And I would love to see that turn into more of a thing that I can offer.
Yeah. You're the go-to person now, but at some point it's going to become a bigger part of your business, right?
I think so. And more florists are going to join in, and more farmers are going to join in, and fine tuning what that looks like. What does that look like for a florist? What does it look like for a farmer? So that it's it's affordable to match their budget, but also makes sense for everybody. And so that's something I even after you left, you asked me, what are my goals for 2026? And now that I've had a couple of nights to sleep on it, I'm like, I think that might be my goal. But
taking shape, yeah.
Yeah, and I say that we're all spread out, Leavenworth to East Wenatchee, and in between. Leavenworth to East Wenatchee is about 45 minutes. So it's not like these farms are super far away. So it is really doable.
I'm thinking there might be like a 50-mile radius. From you. In every direction. So
yeah. And there's a farmer that's in Clay Ellum that has come over. I mean, that's an hour and 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Because their growing season's so much shorter. So I guess there's actually 2 parts of that. there are people coming to me too. And I love advance notice of that. That would be awesome. And so I can plant and accommodate that. But the farms that are in Leavenworth that book a wedding in June's a little early for them. And so June is full sun for me. And so I'm able to offer things that are already blooming for me that might not be blooming for them yet. So
it seems like your challenges are whether you're going to do this as become a wholesaler basically on behalf of other growers. And I've seen that model work. Obviously it works with collectives and cooperatives, but there's no reason why it couldn't become just another service that Feathers and Flowers offers, because that is just that a scenario you gave with the white zinnias and a florist needing 150. That's precisely why some florists have given up on local flowers, because they can't accommodate a large order. And the florists, of course, don't have time to run to 3 farms. So you've noticed the pain point. Now you're just trying to figure out how to make it work for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And it's very true. The local florists everyone, it makes more sense to be able to push one button and you get 150 zinnias delivered to your door. But you have to care. You have to care about local flowers, and you have to see to me, mind-blowing difference between a wholesale flower that's been flown in and a fresh cut flower from right here. So caring, putting in a little extra work, and like I said, Macy and Cheryl are so willing to do that. And I use them as an example because they're the 2 biggest ones, but there are other florists here in Wenatchee that have definitely step in and buy the local flowers as often as they can.
Do you think that the drive is from the wedding client, or is it from the informed, educated florist, or just the general public?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
It's never as much as we want it to be, right?
Right. That's exactly right. It's never as much. I think it's like a little bit of both, but I had a bride this year that 100% wanted every single flower to be local. She wanted to use sustainable floristry, no foam. And we built her planters to be at her wedding. And she was just so thankful and so grateful. And she left the reviews, she gave a tip, she referred us, she did all these things. And I'm just like, that's my person.
Yeah.
I need to find more of those people. So if we can educate everyone like her, that would be amazing. And then I think it would drive the florist to buy more. And if we educate the florist on the beauty and the diversity of local flowers to the customer, we're gonna do both.
I love it. And the florists need to see that as a value added for them, because you're helping them take advantage of an offering to a specific type of customer. It doesn't take away from maybe what else they're doing. And they also, I sense that there's some of this kind of, she's taking away business from me because she's doing weddings. But as you said, there are more weddings in the Valley than people can keep up with. So, or that the flowers can keep up with.
Absolutely. And not everyone wants a big full scale wedding. And so sometimes the smaller weddings aren't worth it for a bigger florist. And so us being able to handle those. So, if a florist gets a small budgeted bride, they don't have to say no. They can say no, but here is a fantastic farm that will give you what you're looking for. So
that's awesome.
We're here. Yeah.
Okay, so the next time we talk, you're going to have an update for me on this Feathers and Flowers program. And I will just say, we talked separately about, in some markets, a collective and a cooperative just isn't going to work, just because maybe the sweat equity isn't there of many participants. And I think doing something on your own, it's benefiting everyone anyway, and people will want to come on board. And they see that you're doing this already, Rachel. You're already chasing down demand flowers that the client needs that you don't have to expand your order. So it's not just telling people no. You're saying, yes, I can find those for you.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it too. And I get to go to those farms when I go pick them up. So I get to see what other people are growing. And, I get to be jealous of Leavenworth flowers, sweet peas in July when mine were gone in May. And, it's fun. It helps build that community. It helps build those friendships and relationships, and going there and seeing what they have is always helpful. So I know what's going on.
So your natural curiosity and your insatiable desire to see what everyone else is doing is just paying off.
Yeah.
You're putting a few extra miles on the van, but I think you're on the track to do something exciting. I want to hear more as you shape it up. Anything else you want to mention about 2026?
Oh, 2026.
And I only say that because you're kind of at the end of the season, right?
I know. Right now, though, you know what? I have a trip coming up, and that is where I am focused. I am going to brain break for a minute, and I am going to take a much needed vacation and come back full steam ahead.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that'll be so much fun. I'll be following along. Maybe you'll post a little bit.
I will.
Okay, good. Thank you so much, Rachel. This has just been so fun to spend time with you over the last 2 weeks, both in person and here on the virtual studio. And we'll have some more photos that we can share in our show notes, and let people know how they can find and follow Feathers and Flowers.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Deborah. This is checking off my bucket list to be here and to have you tour our farm. And it feels so magical. So thank you so much.
You bet. I will come back during Lysiantha season, though.
Okay. Deal.